Welcome to the Week 9 edition of the Sports Cube podcast. I'm Kyler Gammon.
I'm Branton Beard.
And I'm Drew Powell, filling in for Eli Grimes.
Yeah, special guest Drew. Eli wasn't able to make it today, so Drew's filling in. Happy to have you, Drew.
Thank you. Glad to be on here, guys.
And follow us on Instagram.
Got the new Instagram account.
Got the new Instagram. Follow on YouTube as well and on Spotify. How about the new logo, baby? What y'all think about it? I love it. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's super dope.
How about that?
Thank you.
I mean, Branton himself made it. It looks phenomenal with the
Clean.
3 sports. I love it.
Yes.
Super dope.
So the NBA draft is tonight, fellas. We finally got some NBA news. The NBA draft is tonight. So I'm going to give my top 5, and then we'll hear what you guys have to say what your top 5 is. Okay. So here's my top 5 picks. For the first pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to select Anthony Edwards, baby. Okay. I think that I don't know. I just think that they might shock some people. LaMelo Ball might be a little bit over the hype. But I can just see them picking Anthony Edwards right there and kind of going the safe route. I can't see him going to Minnesota, in my opinion.
Right.
Number 2, LaMelo Ball, Golden State, baby. Yes. I just make it interesting with Steph Curry and Clay. Just kind of make it interesting a little bit. I think that'd be, if LaMelo Ball can pan out, be really dangerous. Number 3, I got James Wiseman going to from Memphis going to the Hornets. I think that the Hornets really need a good backcourt piece, and I think that Wiseman would fit into that role perfectly. And then it's Deni Avdija, correct? Avdija, all right, from Israel. I have him going to the Bulls. I think that the Bulls are just probably trying to pick a good best available. Maybe Wiseman if he's there, maybe. But I can see the Bulls taking him. And then for the Cavs, I got a surpriser here. Patrick Williams out of FSU. I have him going to the Cavs.
Really?
I don't know. Just I don't know. He's not very high ranked, but kind of that's probably my sleeper pick. The surprise pick of the draft. I mean, the Cavaliers drafted Anthony Bennett a couple years ago. So
we don't talk about those days. Okay? Those are pre-LeBron.
All right, Brandon, what you got, man?
I got switching up a little bit. I am going with Ball, number 1.
Ooh,
they can't pass him up at that position there. And then going Wiseman to the Warriors. I think I don't think they necessarily need another point guard with having Steph and Clay. They need some more assistance there. And then I got Edwards going number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way they can pass him up as well. And I've got Toppin at 4.
Okay.
That rounds up my 4.
All righty.
Yeah.
My top 5, I have Anthony Edwards going number 1. I just don't think that they can pass him up, especially on the defensive side. You have D'Angelo Russell, not a great defender, but Anthony Edwards coming in. They compared him to D. Wade, and D. Wade was a stellar defender in his days. Number 2, I got James Wiseman. If the Warriors don't trade this pick, they need a big man. They need a rebounder besides Steph and Clay. They don't miss very many shots, but when they do, Draymond Green's only 6'7". They needed a big guy down there.
Yeah.
Number 3, I have LaMelo Ball. I don't know what they're going to do at the point guard position with Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier, but I think that you can't pass up LaMelo Ball. Some may be the best player in this draft. Number 4, Deni Avdija going to the Bulls, best player available. And number 5, I have the Cavs trading Kevin Love and the Cavs taking Obi Toppin out of Dayton.
Wow.
Out of Dayton, Obi Toppin, number 5.
Trade alert, baby.
Yes,
I did see that. I think the Sixers were actually in talk of trading for Kevin Love. I don't want Kevin Love to be honest with you. I don't want Kevin Love. But wow, I mean, I could definitely see Kevin Love being a trade acquisition.
He's always on the block. He's
been on the block since LeBron days, honestly. So nothing really too surprising there. But yeah, that rounds out my top 5.
So another NBA news. I mean, how about that? We're finally getting some NBA news. James Harden has turned down a $50 million deal from the Rockets.
Yeah.
And probably the top landing spot for him is the Brooklyn Nets. Fellas, that is an eye-opener, to say the least. I mean, you just have, you have Russell Westbrook and James Harden. That kind of didn't really mesh. Did not mesh well at all, and we kind of suspected it with just the way that they play. I mean, think about it. After KD left Oklahoma City and Russell Westbrook was there, Russell Westbrook kind of took reins, and he's the type of player that, he wants to be the superstar, let's just be honest here, of the team. And having James Harden there, he's kind of like, nah, I've been here first, So, I don't know. I mean, potentially, but I don't know. For me, it's kind of like if it doesn't work out in Brooklyn, then it's just kind of a bust, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, turn down that big of offer shows there must be something going on behind closed doors. And no, it wasn't going to work to have two big ball handlers on the same team. They have to be able to shoot the ball when they want to shoot the ball, and they're going to.
Right. And I did see from Yahoo that one of the reasons they do want out is because their owner is a Trump supporter. Not a politics thing, but coming from a source that we all we all trust very well. Yahoo, Chris Haynes. I trust Chris Haynes coming from Yahoo, and that was one of the reports is that because he's a Trump supporter is the reason that they want out.
Wow,
that's odd.
I mean, politics coming into the business. I mean, you know, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. So many NBA players are standing for that. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's just a business, and if you don't like the organization, then I could totally see it. But there was also some more trades. But if you want to check that out, I guarantee you, Sports Extra will be talking about that, or they have already talked about it. But we can't spoil it here.
No.
Give it to them. We can't spoil it here. But we have to move on to Week 10 of the NFL, fellas. Wild weekend. Yeah. Every week's been wild this whole entire season. I mean, 2020's been wild. Mm-hmm. The NFL has been wild. So, do you know where we're going to start? Take a guess on where we're going to start.
Some Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC least.
And least. I like it. I like that. And right here, Daniel Jones. Just
where's the banana peel? Where's the no banana peel this time. That'll be a touchdown.
Not going to trip this time.
And you know what's
this time.
And Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, literally said that was the same exact formation that they ran whenever Daniel Jones had the banana peel, and the Eagles just didn't play to it. And at the end of the day, with this Eagles team, that's the problem as Wayne Gallman goes into the end zone here. Well, the problem with this Eagles team is just coaching. I mean, flat out coaching. I mean, Carson Wentz had no turnovers this game. He didn't have the best game, obviously, and Boston Scott, the giant killer himself, on his way to the races. See you later. Stayed in bounds. Touchdown. The Eagles will be down 10-14 right here. But it just comes down to coaching. I mean, Carson Wentz played to the scheme, and flat out, the scheme just does not work. I mean, look at that. I mean,
it's good coverage.
Roby Coleman, sure, but he has been awful all year. I'm sorry, Drew. He came from the Rams, and Roby Coleman has been awful as Wayne Gallman goes into the end zone.
Nothing to apologize to me about. I see why we didn't bring him back now.
I mean, we try to do, Corey Clement will come in here. His first touchdown since 2018, by the way.
Really?
How about that? I mean, his first touchdown since, I think, November or October of 2018. And watch this right here. 4th and 10. What is that? Why? I mean, you're throwing against
Bradbury, who's had an amazing year. Bradbury is at a very underrated corner, and he played that good. If you're gonna throw a ball like that, 50-50 ball, the corner's got to be able to make that play.
I mean, and here's the deal. At the same time, you're throwing to a rookie in Jalen Reagor who does not have the NFL experience. Mind you, Alshon Jeffrey was activated for this game, and he's tall and he's lengthy. Sure, he's probably taking a step back. But he's tall and he's lengthy, and you want your probably arguably best receiver, maybe Fulgham, against their best corner. I mean, that's just not a good matchup, and it just comes down flat out to coaching. I mean, being an Eagles fan is literally it's one of the worst things in the world. I mean, if you want a case of a roller coaster emotion, just watch an Eagles game. I mean, I've got nothing to say. I mean, right now, I know the standings doesn't look like it, but the last thing I'm going to say is changes have to be made. Throw that Super Bowl season out the window. I'm past that. Sure, it was awesome, and I will forever remember it and cherish it, but I'm just past it. I mean, it's time for some changes because this is a bunch of crap.
So what are you saying? Do they take a quarterback in this draft?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You have confidence in Carson Wentz?
I do. I'm riding and dying with Carson Wentz. Okay. I've said that from day one since the draft of Jalen Hurts, since the old Nick Foles debacle. I'm riding it down with Carson Wentz. Sure, this season has been abysmal, but at the same time, if you look at the past 3 years, he has battled injuries and stuff like that. Injury prone, but at the same time, his offensive line has not been great really since 2017, and he had 2 major injuries in 2018. So, with coming off the ACL in 2017.
Right.
I mean, I'm riding down with Carson Wentz. I mean, and if you look at the GM standpoint, head coaching standpoint, the scheme is just not working. Doug Peterson likes to go for 2 whenever there's no reason to. I mean, it was 11-14. And we decided to go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point. I mean, I just don't see the point in it. You can look at analytics, but that doesn't matter right now.
So, quick question for you then: who do you see winning this NFC least?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's
without
really tough.
without looking at games.
It could go either way because the Eagles are 1-1 with the Giants. So technically, all the Eagles have to do if the Giants take it second place, it's just obviously have a better record than the Giants, and then to win that outright because they're tied at the series 1-1. But looking at the upcoming schedule that the Eagles have, plus not being able to beat off your bye weeks, you've had 2 weeks to prepare against the New York Giants, who's a 2-win team, and your coaching staff cannot get that done. And looking at the upcoming schedule that they have against the Saints, the Packers, I'm drawing a blank on another one, another huge name. I don't know. I mean, I could see the Giants winning it. I'm being honest with you.
Washington football team? Back to the playoffs? Or to the playoffs for the first time? You never know. I mean, with that division,
anything's up for grabs.
Anything's up for grabs.
Anything that's not the Cowboys.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly.
We'll move on to some Rams action here. We'll get some. Drew gets the announcements first.
Okay.
Rams game here.
Drew's a Rams fan.
Here we go. Russell Wilson. I don't even know who their running back is in this
I think
game.
it's DJ Drake.
Yeah.
DJ Drake rolls into the end zone.
I lied. Take that back. It's not DJ Drake. It's I'm drawing a blank, but I remember watching that.
Here's
So
Jared
look at
Goff.
this pass. What a dime to Tyler Higbee. What a dime. My goodness.
Jared Goff has had a phenomenal year this year. I mean, he has taken such a huge step up.
And Darrell Henderson is the #1 rated running back in the league.
Exactly.
According to Pro Football Focus, he is the #1 graded running back in the league at this point.
But you know who's not the #1 rated safety? Jamal Adams, right here. He's not been what the Seahawks have needed. I mean, they gave up those picks, and he's not played well.
He was great early on.
He's been hurt. I'll give him. He's been hurt.
True.
You know, I'm a Jamal Adams fan. He has been hurt, but this is a huge win. I'm a Rams fan, like they said. I'm a big Rams fan. I love this coming into our home, still undefeated at home. It's a big win in my opinion.
I mean,
I love it. I love to see it,
especially in that new stadium. It's nice to see.
Yeah, I love the new stadium.
And you know, two opposite teams. Viewpoints right now with the Rams and the Eagles. But, you know, let's just be honest. Jared Goff has taken such a huge step up. I mean, from, you know, obviously I think last year he struggled, I think, just a little bit. But in my opinion, I thought he did. But, I mean, he's just been lights out. I mean, really, I think really underrated in the NFL, to be honest with you. I mean, he's just got the job done. I mean, the NFC West is the toughest division in football. Can't convince me otherwise. I mean, just look at the division. But, I mean, Drew, speaking of which, who do you think is winning that NFC West?
I would love to see the Rams win it, but I mean, I could easily see any of the 3 teams winning it. But in my opinion, the Seahawks have the MVP frontrunner. They're going to get Chris Carson back. They're going to get Carlos Hyde back. Jamal Adams is going to get back to the Pro Bowl level that he is. I don't see anyone beating the Seahawks here. And that's my take. I would love, like I said, I could see the Cardinals winning it. The Rams could pull it out. But in my opinion, I feel like the Seahawks.
I think bare minimum. I really believe that bare minimum. Just by with everything's looking, and by the way, future we will have a playoff standings and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. But I think that the Rams or Cardinals could easily slide in as a wild card. I mean, easily slide.
And with that defense, and with that defense, I remember listening to the Herd, and they said that we're the #1 defense in the NFL, or at least top 5. Of course, the Steelers are going to be up there. Colts. But with that defense, this is not an offensive team anymore. It's just Darius Williams has been playing great. Jalen Ramsey's looking like the best corner in the league. Shut down DK Metcalf. I don't even think he had a reception.
Wow, now that's
he had like 2 receptions.
Okay, he did. I know he had like 4 targets, 2 receptions.
That's impressive.
And so it's just Aaron Donald is back to playing the good level, leading the league in sacks, tied, I think. I mean, Leonard Floyd had 2 sacks. We just 6 sacks, 2 picks off of the MVP frontrunner, in my opinion, who has been struggling. But he's still the MVP frontrunner, and you can't convince me otherwise.
And I think that the biggest kick of who's going to win this division will come down to will win this is airing Thursday night between the Seahawks and the Cardinals.
Yes.
Whoever wins,
that's gonna be so
I think whoever wins that game is going to win this division because, I mean, the Cardinals, they already have the lead 1-0 over the Seahawks. So if they can take the 2-0 lead, I think they can take this division easily. So
let's move on to your Steelers.
All right, we'll take some Steelers
Undefeated
action.
again.
Undefeated, 9-0. It feels good. You know, 9 wins. You know how many wins the NFC East has? 10. 9 wins for the Steelers. That's almost much.
Rub it in, Branton.
Right here. With the Gurdy. Deontay Johnson hitting the Gurdy after scoring that touchdown. Joe Burrow coming back, getting the only touchdown of the game right here to Tyler Higbee. He had a good game as well. Needed that right here. Ben Roethlisberger finding a dime to Juju Smith-Schuster.
That is
having an amazing year. Big Ben not having any practice due to COVID restrictions and comes in here and he's throwing 4 touchdown passes.
Dude,
that's as many as Claypool had against the Eagles. So looking at this right now. Mike Tomlin coming in 9-0 right now, and he talked about, of course, this game we didn't get the run game going, and that's expected. If you're the Bengals and don't have Ben practicing all week, you're gonna get ready for the run game, and they did. They did a really good job shutting down the run game. Only had 55 yards on the day, and Tomlin addressed that. He said we're going to work on our run game this week, which has been awful. We've hadn't got over 50 yards on the ground the past 3 weeks.
James Conner's been struggling.
Yeah.
I mean, and also, too, with that, I mean, Joe Mixon wasn't active, right, for this game, correct, with an injury?
I don't think he was.
So, I mean, that also probably plays into a factor, but I mean, let's just be honest, the Bengals you're in your first year with a rookie quarterback. It was kind of expected, especially in their, I think, pretty tough division as well in the AFC North.
Easily one of the second toughest division in the league.
I'd say
exactly. And so, with that, I mean, okay, so Brandon, just asking you, since your Steelers are undefeated, you would think that they would have to lose at some point.
Yes.
You would think. I mean, I wouldn't. I just personally can't see them going 16-0 because I think that they've just won. I mean, at the end of the day, they somehow got the job done, but they also struggled against the Cowboys as well, which
right. But
you know,
with that, of course, not given any points, they did almost lose. But the thing about that is they did go on the road to Tennessee and squeeze out a victory, go on the road to Baltimore and squeeze out a victory. So they did. They went and kind of looked over this game, but Mike Tomlin has addressed with this game being against Jacksonville that it's not going to be a trap game. He's still going to look at this game as they are or where they opponent. I mean, they almost went in and beat the Packers when the Packers were at home, 24-10. But getting back to this past game where Ben took down Burrow, who was also the Heisman Trophy winner, Big Ben is now 10-0 versus Heisman winners.
Really?
Yep.
Now that's an impressive
weird
stat.
That's a weird,
Yeah.
cool stat to have.
He's 2-0 versus Baker Mayfield, 2-0 versus Newton, beat Jackson, beat Mayfield, beat RG3, beat Burrow, and beat Johnny Manziel. 10-0.
Johnny Manziel. How about that?
That's
If you'd have said that we're going to name Johnny Manziel on the show today, I would have said you're crazy.
You're
How about that?
crazy.
Yeah.
Taking bets.
But one more little crack here. The Steelers did not let the Bengals get one third down conversion on the day. They were 0 for 10. The last time someone held a team to not converting on third down, November 7th, Steelers-Eagles.
Okay, so
Here we go.
Here we go. We might, because you just said 0 for 10 for third down. Well, you know what the Eagles went on third down on Sunday? 0 for 9. Do you know they had 11 penalties? And do you know what that goes back to? Coaching scheme and discipline. I'm telling you, it's a coaching problem with this Eagles team. I mean, Brandon, any stat you could bring up, it somehow will lead to the Eagles. I promise you.
Oh, my.
I promise you. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, you might as... Like, I'm speechless at this point. Just being an Eagles fan just makes me just shake my head every Sunday. I mean, it's just like clockwork. I mean, get to the Eagles game, get disappointed. Here we go again. Get excited, hyped up. Disappointed again. It's the same thing. You know.
At least you won a Super Bowl this decade, okay?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
13-3.
we actually scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl whenever we played Drew.
Oh,
so,
wow.
I mean,
Drew here.
You know, and
I tried to defend you, and you want me to come out with that? Are you
He
serious?
defended you.
I mean, you know, that is true, but I also had to take that shot at you. Plus, also, too, think about that. I mean, Nick Foles had more touchdown receptions than your whole Rams receiver 2 years ago. So
I'll remember this,
I'm sorry.
Kylie. I really will.
I'm sorry. I mean,
remember this.
You guys killed us this year, but I can take all my shots whenever I can get them. But Ian, do we got any time for the Colts game? Maybe? No, we don't? Okay,
No do we have time to do quick power rankings? What's our power rankings for right now?
Well, playoff picture?
All right, yeah, we'll go playoff
man,
picture.
look at Ian back there, man, helping us.
Director Ian.
Here's your Week 11 playoff picture, how it's rolling out. Of course, there's only one bye for each conference this year. The NFC both gets one, and we get one. So here's what it's looking out to be. You got
Looks
the Steelers
nice.
and Packers both with a bye. And then I think a sleeper team in this,
Dolphins.
Dolphins, but I was also thinking Raiders.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
Raiders went in and beat Kansas City, and they got Kansas City on Sunday Night Football this week, so that'll be an interesting
That'll be
game
a very good
to
game.
see if they
Very
can
good
beat them again.
I
Because
mean,
if they do,
but like if we're looking at this bracket, I mean, there's really nothing that was, other than maybe the Dolphins and maybe the Raiders, there's really nothing surprising that we did not see coming into this year. I mean, everything is kind of pinpoint to where we had it. So,
this Dolphins team is definitely looking good. I think their coaching staff has done a phenomenal job putting this team together. So we'll see where they lead.
All right. Well, I think that's going to conclude our Sports Extra half of the Sports Cube podcast. If you want to check us out for some more content, go to our YouTube channel at at SportsCube Podcast on the Instagram. Follow us at sports.cube.podcast.
Correct, yeah.
And follow us on Spotify and Anchor and on Google Podcasts. Man, we're everywhere, aren't we?
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to wrap up this weeknight edition of the SportsCube Podcast here on Sports Extra. We'll see you next week. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Shout out to Ian real quick, man. Shout out to Ian helping us get all
Phenomenal
the things
job.
done.
Round of applause.
Give it to Ian, baby.
Round of applause.
Yeah, give it up for Ian, baby.
The
Man,
hero,
I'm telling
the
you.
unsung hero of everything that goes on around this college.
Yeah, amen. So I guess we'll go into the Colts game because we weren't able to get to it on the Sports Extra half as well. So local game here. I mean, Thursday night game. I mean, really impressive. I mean, Derrick Henry, I don't think did a whole lot in
No, he
this
was
game.
held under 100 yards.
Yeah. What?
But under 100 yards, yeah.
But I mean, which is really impressive because Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry,
Right.
And he is probably debatably best running back in the league. Debatably,
Yeah,
I'd say he is.
he is for sure. So anyway,
Go ahead and roll the Colts film.
we don't have it.
No, never mind, it's not-
Okay.
we don't have Colts
Yeah, because
film.
it was Thursday night
There's a
matchup.
Thursday night matchup.
Wow.
But anyway, Colts took that one by a score of 34-17 over the Titans, dominating win. Phillip Rivers, of course, still didn't have the best game, but he still threw a couple good passes in there.
They got the job done
Yeah, and they got the job done.
against
That's all
a
they needed to
very,
do.
very good Tennessee Titans team.
And
Yeah.
you can definitely tell that the Titans just played the Steelers. This is definitely one of those things where you play a really good team, you lose close, and you're still in your head about it because they've lost, 2-3 straight now?
Yeah, three straight.
Yeah,
Yes.
3 straight. And this is definitely something that they're just in their head about. And Tennessee is such a good team with Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, Corey Davis, A.J. Brown. The defense is okay with Jadeveon Clowney on there. They got to figure out a way to win this week. They have to.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've thought about this for a little while. I mean, when does it? I mean, I'm being honest. If you can get, because I think you have a pretty decent receiving core. Plus, also by the way, speaking to the receiving core, Corey Davis' brother passed away from cancer. That was another big story coming into the game.
Yeah.
So probably emotions were probably high in the locker room, especially for him. But anyway, so at what point do you think, and do you tell yourself, at what point do you think that Tannehill is not the answer? At what point? Because I think if you can balance a phenomenal running back with a quarterback that can launch the ball, maybe I wouldn't compare him to maybe like whoever you're gonna throw, like maybe a Joe Burrow, maybe some type of rookie quarterback, maybe I mean, I'm just thinking if you could have both of those. I mean, you're looking at a pretty dominant football team, in my opinion.
I don't know if you can throw all the blame on Tannehill, though. I mean, I would throw more blame on the defense because their defense, it's not been – Clowney, he hasn't got a single sack yet this season. Like, Clowney's not as good as what people have made him out to be. And they went out and got a new safety on the trade market and a new corner on the trade market, but they were learning the playbook. It was just Thursday Night Football. They hadn't learned the playbook yet. So we got to see how they're going to advance into the rest of the season, because the Titans, they can still win that division. They can still come back and beat the Colts again, because anything can happen in that the AFC South.
That's the other division that's close. I mean, AFC South. I mean, that's the other division that if the Dolphins kind of fall off here in Week 11, maybe the Titans could squeeze in there with the Colts being at the top of the division, or vice versa. I mean,
Dolphins aren't in that division.
Dolphins are in the East.
Or I'm stupid.
You're fine. So the Colts are leading that division right now.
I'm telling you, this Eagles loss.
It's been a roller coaster of Eagles.
Up and
down.
But that's my fault. Wow, I feel really stupid.
So another game that we might get to here real quick is we'll do Texans and Browns. That was a crazy game. The fact that the Texans only put up 7 points against the Browns.
Oh, look at that.
Of course, there was a weather delay, 30 minutes. But they're still going to get kicked off here after 30-minute weather delay. Looking right here, Baker Mayfield handing off to Kareem Hunt. Even with Nick Chubb back, Hunt got a bulk of the carries today. And he's pushing and fighting. He's going to keep fighting and get out of bounds before the 15.
By the way, I did have Nick Chubb on my fantasy team this week, and we'll see it a little bit later, but whenever he did this certain action towards the end of the game, I was not very happy towards my fantasy team this week. But Baker Mayfield, I mean, that's a beauty of a ball, in my opinion. Rolling out of the pocket, your feet really wasn't set. Beauty of a ball. I mean, Baker Mayfield is the king of that. He'll make some really good throws, and then some other throws make you scratch your head. But Nick Chubb goes in the end zone for his first touchdown since he got back from his injury.
First game back after a 3-week injury on IR. Right here, Deshaun Watson throwing the ball up. Ill-advised throw, kind of, but still makes the delivery right there.
What is that?
Poor coverage by the Browns secondary. but Watson's rolling. Here he goes on 1st and 10, throwing to the end zone. It's caught for the touchdown right here as they will go on the scoreboard for the first time in this game, in the fourth quarter, mind you. So 7-10 here, and right here, Nick Chubb showing what he can do now that he's back. Going
and you know
40,
what? He's
the
like,
30,
oh,
the 20,
he's like,
the 10, the 5.
Oh, no. Thank you for my fantasy team, Nick Chubb. I needed those extra points. That would have been nice for you.
It is smart there.
I know.
I mean, run out the clock, go ahead and get the victory. I mean, even if he scores, they couldn't have scored twice, but still smart play by him.
How about a bounce back year? Well, I wouldn't really say bounce back, but I mean, Myles Garrett coming off the, smacking somebody's dude with his helmet. I mean,
like how you went, bam, just smack the table.
1 year ago, this past Monday.
Mason Rudolph, actually, it was actually Mason Rudolph against the Steelers. And, coming off from the suspension, last year for the boneheaded debacle that was.
That's not smart.
He's been one of the best defensive ends in the league. Yeah, I mean, he's been really taking the lead.
Ranked number 2 right now, right behind T.J. Watt. So, I mean, he's definitely in that Defensive Player of the Year conversation.
I still give it to Aaron Donald. That's an unbiased opinion by me. Aaron Donald's these people.
He's ranked number 2 in QB pressures, actually.
Yeah.
But, the Browns are still sitting at 6-3, man. I mean,
is it a real 6-3 though? Like, I mean,
I think they definitely are a 6-3 team right now.
Okay,
but
here's my question.
They are 4-1 at home.
Are we talking about the Browns as a playoff team? Obviously they're playoff. That's my question. Are they going to win a playoff game? Because they're not going to be at home because the Steelers are going to win. They're going to easily be a wild card team, and
depends on whether. Well, if the Browns, depends on how
in their division.
But you also have to think of the Ravens too as well. I mean, because the Steelers will take that division. So at the same time, maybe are you looking at the Browns and the Ravens at wild card spots?
Yeah, I think they could both easily make those wild card spots. And of course, if COVID happens again and strikes a game, there will be a third wild card spot. So you're talking about maybe the Patriots going in there. So here's my question to you: if you're in January and you're having somebody come into your building, do you want the Bill Belichick Patriots or the Cleveland Browns?
Well, but with that too, but this, I'm telling you, this playoff race is going to be interesting, really quick and really fast because the Bills are 7-2, right? Correct. So I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, they are 7-2. Or 7-3.
They're 7-3. So depending on how that tight, here's the deal. One of these teams that has a great record, it might get kicked off out of the wild card spot because you have. If the Bills take that division, you would think that the Dolphins are a wild card team. The Browns are a wild card team. The Ravens are a wild card team. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this AFC playoff race is going to be really, really interesting.
And we're not even talking about the Titans or the Colts.
Exactly. One of them is going to have to make it.
It's so interesting.
We're going to have good teams in the quote-unquote lottery. And it's going to be crazy to see. Can you imagine the Colts striking on another draft pick? Draft pick. After getting Darius Leonard in, the second round?
Yeah, exactly.
Striking on another draft pick, making that team even better. And a quarterback, out of all things, striking on a quarterback.
Need a quarterback.
Can you imagine how good this team will be next year?
If they can get a quarterback, yeah.
It's so interesting. There's so many things that spitball from the draft, or from the playoff race, excuse me. The Raiders, another team.
Yeah.
The Raiders are, as well. Because we'll think the Chiefs will take the division. Man, if only this was the NFC East. How about that?
Yeah, any of them would win the NFC East. But talking about the playoff picture again, there are 3 wild card spots right now. So right now, if you were to call who's the 3 wild card spots?
We got who's winning the okay.
So say Steelers win the North and Colts win the South, and the Dolphins win the East.
The Dolphins win the East?
Yeah, Dolphins win the East.
Not the Bills.
Not the Bills.
I say the Bills.
Bills first wild card.
Bills. And then you had the
Ravens. The Ravens have got to be in there.
Ravens
They're sitting at 7-2.
Yeah, 7-2.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm saving Ravens and Raiders.
That's what I'd go. Ravens.
I'm
Raiders.
saying Titans.
Titans?
Really?
I see the Titans over the Raiders.
It depends on Derrick Henry can get going.
They're going to turn it around. I know they're going to. They're too well coached. They have too many good players. The Titans are too good of a team to be sitting in the draft in the top 10. Who did you say? The Raiders? The Raiders wouldn't mind another draft pick. They got 12 out of the Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
They got a lot for Khalil Mack. So, I'm sure they have another Bears draft pick this year.
They do.
And they're going to take another good draft pick. The Bears aren't going to make the playoffs. And so, if they do, they'll be a wild card team.
Man, if only Eli was here, how big of a fall off has the Bears been? That's been.
They play tough teams, though. I will give them that. They have played.
But their offense is bad. Their offense is bad, man.
I mean, and it's just like the announcers were talking about during that game on Monday night. Their problems on offense can't be addressed until the offseason. There's nothing they can do to turn it around right now. Trade's over. You're not going to sign a big free agent. I mean, there's nothing they can do on offense.
To come to Chicago.
Exactly.
And we'll probably roll that clip later of the game. But the clip that I want to go to is this Lions and Washington football team game.
Oh, that was a good game.
Because here's the deal. Washington was down, I think, 24-3 at one point in this game. Or they were down at least. Yes, I mean, they were down a good chunk in this game. And so, I mean, right here, I mean, Matthew Stafford, I mean, he's been really underrated this year. Throwing a dime. I mean, is that Kenny Galladay?
No,
Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones. Kenny Galladay is out with a hip injury.
They're down 17-3 right here. Then you take John J. Swift, who's on my fantasy team, by the way. Boom, rolling his way over. Rumble, bumble, stumble. Any of the way his end zone. They're technically a starter. But, yeah, I mean, they're at 24-3 right here.
Alex Smith making
fourth down, catch.
Yeah.
Clutch, baby.
First down.
I mean, essentially, if you don't get that, then probably game's over. But then, you know, I think it's McKissick. Yeah, goes in the end zone for a touchdown, 24-10 game. I mean, Alex Smith came back, baby. How about that?
Yeah. And Alex Smith has always been really good, even in his Kansas City days. He's just not been great. You know, he's been really, really, really good. But he's just not Patrick Mahomes great.
But, you know, hit the 41-yard field goal to put them up. All right, to
tie the game.
To tie the game, excuse me.
With 3 seconds left.
59-yarder for Matt Prater. It's up. It's
It's good.
59-yarder Matt Prater for the brand for the win.
Wow.
And it helps the NFC least out even more.
Even closer in the NFC least.
I mean, Matt Prater, have yourself a day, man.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no better feeling. No better feeling. And
nail 59-yarder is crazy.
Game winner, baby. Yeah. You love to see it. I mean, I remember watching that game, and I was like, man, I mean, Matt Prater does have a boot. And I'm like, man, but that's a 59-yarder. I mean, he nailed that sucker. I mean, no problem.
Doesn't he hold the record for the longest field goal?
Yes, I think it's
64 with the Broncos.
64, that's right. So another game that I kind of surprised was the Packers and the Jaguars. Yeah. I mean, this was kind of a back-and-forth game as well. I mean, the Packers ended up winning this 24-10 or 24-20, spoiler alert. But, I mean, 52-yarder for the Jags here. I mean, money. I mean, things you love to see. I mean, you know, the Jaguars coming in, they're used to being warm, cold in Lambeau.
And they still almost get the job done.
Aaron Rodgers to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Oh, and then look at this. Look at the way ref. Oh!
Down goes the ref.
Oh, no! Using the
ref is a lead blocker right there.
Using the ref as a screen there. You just hate to see it.
But here we go. How about some special teams right here for the Jaguars? We got Keenan Cole returning here from the 10.
Uh-oh.
Make a man miss. Miss a tackle. Miss another tackle. 50, 40, 30. Oh, 1 man miss. Oh!
Taking them ankles and into the end zone for the punt return touchdown. I mean, how about that? How about that little play right here? And Aaron Rodgers pump faking, doing what he does best. You might as well do your little State Farm celebration, baby.
Discount double check.
Here we go.
Lutton.
Third and 6. Going to deliver it into the end zone for the touchdown as they will go tie the game at 17 apiece here in the third quarter.
Lambeau
lead by the Jaguars.
Oh, isn't that just
chill up there for a while. Aaron Rodgers faked the handoff. Waiting, delivers.
I mean, it's
caught. Devontae Adams, my fantasy team player right there, getting the job done, getting them on top. 24-20 victory there for the Packers as they will move to first in the NFC North.
But what was interesting about this whole game was that really the Packers really dominated this whole game, except they just had little mishaps. I mean, here and there. I mean, you just had like little tidbits of, what are you doing, Packers? You know, it's just like the punt return touchdown. I mean, you just got to play the coverage, and you just got to play the punt coverage really well and make the tackle. I mean, and that doesn't happen.
I mean, there's always 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. And right there, the Jaguars won on special teams, and they almost got the better of the Packers.
Man, fellas, there's just been, so many
good
great
week of games.
How could we miss this? Probably game of the week. I mean, this is game of the week. Cardinals, Bills. We know we've all seen the highlight, but we have to show it here. I mean, a battle. I mean, an absolute battle, this game. I mean,
back and forth all day. Right here, is this Kenny Drake?
No, Chase Edmonds, I believe.
Yeah, Chase Edmonds.
I was going to say, I believe.
I believe.
Chase Edmonds right here with a nice gain. But here we go back. Josh Allen going to hand it off. And he's going to throw it back to Josh Allen. And he's going to run it in. Makes the man miss for the touchdown. Oh, nope, not going to throw it into the stands. What a game for Josh Allen.
Think about that. I mean, just Josh Allen had more receiving touchdowns than.
Don't you say it.
Watching it, how about that field goal is good, but the Bills on top 10-3 right there. 55-yarder? How about yes, making it a 13-6 ball game. Well, still,
53 yards, 55
53 yards. I mean,
no goodness, this guy should have won Player of the Week. My
Fantasy
goodness.
player, baby.
He had, I believe, 24 points for my kicking team.
Are you serious? As a kicker?
I don't believe him. I mean, I believe him.
350-plus yards.
Oh!
As Buffalo will set up shop.
And really, if we're looking at this, really Buffalo should have this game under wraps.
That's what I'm thinking. I know that. Obviously,
16-9 right here. Hasn't even scored a touchdown yet for the Cardinals.
And they score.
And they score again.
Cole
Beasley.
I mean, and really, if you're looking at this game, I mean, the Bills should be rolling away with this. But Kyler Murray, don't ever underestimate it. I mean, if I'm the Bills right here, I mean, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, it's just simply reading the defensive end. If he goes in, you pull it. Too easy. I mean, it's just flat out too easy.
Josh Allen looking to get another score on the board here.
Picked off!
Picked off, little underneath.
Patrick Peterson, man.
Pass.
How about that name? I mean, we haven't heard that name in a long time. Patrick Peterson.
He's kind of gone down a little bit after his injury. But right here, Kyler Murray taking it in for the touchdown. Going to put them on top for the first time in the game as they're going to lead 26-23. But Josh Allen coming back. Who's he going to find? He's going to find Stephon Diggs with an amazing grab over the sideline to put them on top. 30 seconds left. Oh, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen here?
And here we go.
Here we go.
Kyler Murray rolls out to his left. Oh, he shakes one defender. And then he launches one deep for the end zone. And it is caught! DeAndre Hopkins over 3 Bills defenders.
Mossed him.
Game winner.
Game, set, match.
and just have a day, DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, coming up clutch. That is why you trade for him right there. I mean, that's why you make the move to go out and get the money. Big time player from Bill O'Brien, another Bill.
Bill O'Brien.
And it's just so exciting. I mean, you love to see it. I mean, it gets you up off your feet. No matter who you're rooting for, you just love to see that type of stuff. Unless you're Bills fans.
I do not. I do not. I would much rather him have dropped it. It would not have hurt my feelings at all if he now would have made that catch.
Yeah, but it was an amazing catch. But moving on to, how about this blowout right here? Raiders and Broncos have an amazing game. Josh Jacobs on the day. Here we go. Jake hitting it off to that man, Josh Jacobs, who's going to take it into the end zone for the touchdown, putting him on top 6-0 early.
He had a good game for my fantasy team. Since we're talking about fantasy, he had a great game.
Drew Lock bringing him back.
Traded for Derrick Henry.
Yes, sir. Mike Thomas, too.
Here we go. This is Ian's man right here, Drew Lock. He loves him. He's shaking his head in the booth. Nah, he doesn't think he's the answer. But he had a good game early.
But got hurt again.
Mm-hmm. And there was also a flag on that play, so it gets brought back. But don't matter. Oh, I lied.
Interception.
Sorry, Ian.
Close your eyes. We'll get you a blindfold.
In agony, pain.
Right here, 6-10 ball game, moving up to 13-6. Who's it going to hand it off to? Josh Jacobs once again, over the left side, walking in for the touchdown.
Throw the peace sign, baby. Too easy. Come on now. You might as well just do a little backflip in the end zone while you're at it.
A little take a nap in the action. 6-19 ball game right here, going to the fourth quarter. Drew Lock looking to put something on the board, but tackled, fumble.
Dropped it again. Oh, no. But, I mean, it was all Raiders here. I mean, and another guy.
You guys ever seen Waterboy? Yeah. Whenever they're like, he has time to drop the ball, pick it up, and then still runs it. That's almost what that was.
Drew Lock coming back. But ill-advised throw once again for the one-handed interception there by the Raiders.
He's out of here. He's had enough.
Jeff Heath, AFC Defensive Player of the Week right there.
Wasn't that the guy that...
He was on the Cowboys a couple years ago.
Yeah, he was on the Cowboys.
Yeah, because he Ricardo Allen. That's tough. But, I mean, congrats to him, though. I mean, getting AFC Player of the Week, that's somebody that you usually don't hear about. Jeff Heath, out of all people.
Yeah.
But, I mean, really, it was all Raiders from the start. I mean, it wasn't, let's just be honest, and speaking to Ian here, you're just looking at a good draft pick this year, aren't you? Yep.
Excited for that good draft pick. But another game here that was not really surprising, but it was Kyler's upset of the week, which didn't pan out this time. But it was Saints and 49ers, as the Saints will top this one.
Hey, I mean, listen. I mean, kind of a. I mean, it wasn't. It was. I mean, it was a lot closer than really what the score looked. But big news here, and we'll get to this a little bit later. As Drew Brees steps back. I mean,
is he okay? Is he okay?
And unfortunately,
find out
that's a big boy.
He had 2 bruised ribs as well as a collapsed lung.
I mean, he is. I mean, you clearly tell there he is in pain, and you can tell just by the way he's looking right there. You know, he kind of is. You know, he's kind of hesitant, stuff like that. But
right.
I really think that hit may have caused his injury right there. I think that probably did a pretty good chunk of it. But you know, just the Saints defense. I mean, they've been so good this year.
Jordan.
I mean, but look at Drew Brees battling right here. I mean, and honestly, just by the way that Drew Brees is throwing, you can tell that. I mean, he's throwing these like light passes, nothing too hard. Just really soft stuff. And and you can clearly tell right here that he's in pain. I mean, look at this. I mean, he's, even if that one's even a soft pass. I mean, a little bit more oomph on it, but I mean, even that was even as kind of a softer pass, shorter stuff, not going for the deep ball. And I mean, it's so unfortunate. I mean, we hear about Drew Brees and having the injuries and stuff like that. And
but Jameis Winston, what's he gonna do? A little fake the handoff and deliver. Look at that. It's not a pick six. Is that really Jameis Winston?
And this is really just get it in the hands of your best player and get out of the way. This is all this really is.
Right here, a little punt, special teams action. As he bobbles it.
Is that Alvin Kamara again?
No.
No, it looked like it. It looked like it. I was like, this man's doing everything.
Yeah, they won't put
this man's doing everything.
Here you go. Jameis Winston gives the handoff to that man again. Alvin Kamara having himself a day as he goes in to get them up to 27 points there. As 49ers
Let's just say he had a good day for my fantasy league, too.
Oh, yeah, he had
another
really
good running
day.
back.
Okay. Make a play, but he was at Marshawn Lattimore making plays with the Saints defense all day. Oh, Patrick Robinson, excuse me.
But, I mean, really it was kind of all Saints mostly in this one as well. Maybe the 49ers had a chance, but let's just be honest, 49ers are kind of really, really struggling this year.
And they just had a lot of injuries. I mean, could you imagine this team at full health in the NFC West?
It'd be crazy.
Oh, true. Good point.
Because, I mean, even right now, they'd still be winning the NFC East. But we'll move to the last game.
That's what you get for taking a shot at me, bro. That's what you get. That's karma. That is karma. The Patriots would be winning that division right now.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, I was just about to go to the Patriots and Ravens game. How about we shut that? How about,
some New England Patriots here in the rain. That cloud of smoke, that's about what it looked like on the field the whole night.
Here.
You got Lamar Jackson under center, going to give a little end around.
Is that Willie Snead?
Willie Snead going in for the touchdown. Gets him up early, 7-0 here in the second quarter. Willie Snead really needed to step up here. They didn't activate Des Bryant for this game, so he still stayed on the practice squad. But Cam Newton making the play here to Rex Burkhead as he goes in for the touchdown. Ties the game at 7 here in the second quarter.
And that's when Cam's at his best. It's just those short check down passes. You don't really want him to throw over the middle in between the numbers, but anything short. Yeah.
I mean, how about this little play right here? To go over the trick play, and it's caught by Rex Burkhead. I mean, how about that?
A tough catch.
I mean, Jacoby Myers, right? I believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what just a unique play design. I mean, Bill Belichick using what he does, and here comes Cam Newton, as always, using them legs in the rain, hopping around like he's a bunny rabbit, all around the goalpost.
Here comes Lamar Jackson, though. Can he make a comeback? What's he going to find? He's going to find his man, Willie Snead, for the dime right there. And in the rain, too, you can tell Willie Snead takes off the gloves. Usually have your gloves on, but those gloves are not easy to catch a football in the rain.
I mean that is horrible weather. I mean, weather right there in Foxborough. But, I mean, really, 30 seconds left. I mean,
steps back.
He drops back. I mean, looking for something. And
it's
dropped. And
that's the game right there.
And that's what you can expect in the rain. It's just those balls are really hard to catch in the rain. Let's be honest. We all know that. And it's just, I honestly was expecting a run there. Honestly, this would have made the most sense. And I think that the Patriots were on that, and so John Harbaugh tried to outduel Bill Belichick. And at the end of the day, Bill Belichick's gonna win. Outside of a drop, I mean, it was still a drop, but I mean, He just outdueled him.
And, really interesting game. I mean, because Patriots are, beat a really good Ravens team right there.
Yeah. And they squeezed by the Jets last week and squeezed by the Ravens this week.
I mean, the Patriots are literally more consistent than what the Eagles are, and that says a lot.
you can't ever count out Bill Belichick.
That's true.
As long as he's in the league, he's going to be winning some football games.
Wow.
Last game of the day, Bears-Vikings action.
Hey, let's roll it. Monday Night Football matchup here. Fun fact, I was listening to this game in my car, and by the way, Khalil Mack gets a clutch interception, and he says, they didn't show up, but he trucked Kirk Cousins there, and Cordell Patterson doing some Devin Hester unique things right here, and he is, against his former team, off to the races. I mean, you might hit him with the peace sign. See you later.
104 yards.
Make it too easy.
The longest in Bears history, I believe.
Yeah.
Over Devin Hester, and that is so impressive. But they have special teams troubles here. And, wait, was that special teams?
Yeah.
Yep. I had to glance over here and see, but the last second. But fun fact about this game, and I didn't, by the way, they didn't show this, but Adam Thielen had a insane.
I was going to say they didn't show that?
Yeah.
Really?
I was about to say,
that was
they didn't show
plays.
the Adam Thielen insane touchdown grab, and he had 2 touchdowns on the night. But fun fact, kind of my own personal life, I was on my way home listening to this game in my car before I glance up and a big old buck deer is in my sight, and I ran that sucker, and my car did not make it home that night. But anyway, that is neither here nor there.
So you ran the deer like the Giants ran the Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Payback.
We'll give him some tissues after the game, after the podcast here.
I'm just telling you right now, whenever two quarterbacks can have both receiving touchdowns over your own team in the Super Bowl, that should say something.
I'm just saying. I mean,
and also on top of that, whenever your third string tight end can actually throw a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl over your actual starter quarterback in the Super Bowl, that should say something.
You can keep bringing up the Super Bowl all you want, bro. I do not care. We have been better ever since we got new coaches. We have been better. You got
Sean
one
McVay
win
has
over
done
me.
really
You have
good.
one big win over me. You cannot. He's
Let's
going to
be
hold
honest,
on to
though.
that.
Let's
He's
be
going to hold
honest.
on to this for the
In
rest
the
of his
past few
life.
years, the Eagles have been better than the Rams.
That is so false.
2017, we beat the Rams. 2017, we beat the Rams in the regular season. That was the game that Carson Wentz tore his ACL. 2018,
You're just saying the
2018.
records. You're not saying that you've been better. You barely win the division.
We've been
every
winning.
year. What do you
We've
mean?
been
You're
winning
the worst division of the year in the whole NFL.
But we've been beating you guys in the regular season, though.
You've been beat us this year. You're bringing back. You're bringing back old stuff. We need new
2018,
stuff. We need new stuff.
2018, we beat you guys against Sunday Night Football. What about 2019?
Bring up something good this year that the Eagles have done, please.
Okay.
Oh, he's got to get the phone out.
Yeah, he's got to get the phone out. He's got to get the phone out.
I mean, it's fine over here being at 9-0, but we'll take a look at some of our power rankings right here. We'll let Drew go first. What's your top 5 power rankings right now?
The Eagles aren't in it. I'll tell you that.
Okay, well, pause this right here, because the last time the Eagles played the Rams, other than this year, which I'll mind you, I will give you the benefit of the doubt that you guys have beat us this year, but the past 2 times, the past 3 times the Eagles played the Rams, they've won 2 out of the 3 times. And the last time being in 2018 on Sunday Night Football, when your Rams were 11-3, but Nick Foles, and at the time the Eagles were 7-7, beat you guys 30-23.
Old stuff. You keep bringing up old stuff, bro. Bring up something relevant.
The past 2 of the 3 times the Eagles have played the Rams, they beat them.
I get that. Bring up something relevant.
Listen.
If we're talking right now, teams, the Rams are better than the Eagles.
Oh yeah,
Period.
I mean that's no debate. I'm not debating that, but I'm saying
And I'm just
overall, the past couple of years, the Eagles have been.
Hey,
They've
Ian,
not
what's
been-
your pick? Eagles, Rams right now.
They have not been better, bro. They've just beaten us a couple times. That's all it is. We lose all games like that all the time.
Yeah, like Steelers
The
and Rams.
Dolphins.
So let's move on to power rankings.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let's get those power rankings action. And what's your top 5 right now?
Okay.
Or what if we did this? We go number 5, number 5, number 5.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Okay, so who's number 5?
I have the Rams at number 5, and this is totally an unbiased pick, honestly. I think Colin Cowherd definitely had him. I listened to the Herd; he had him in their top 10. But I have them a little bit. I have them 5. Coming off of the loss of the Dolphins, they needed a big win, or off the bye, excuse me. They needed a big win, and they got one. And I mean, it wasn't on primetime because I couldn't get it on Yahoo Sports. I was kind of upset about that, but honestly,
heated.
Yeah, I was pretty upset. But it's still a big win over the Seahawks, a team that would have been, if they would have beat the Rams, they'd definitely been in my top 5. But they just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, my top 5. Number 5 is going to be. I got to give it to the Bucs. I mean, with that high-powered offense, they still got to be on top 5. I mean, it'll all come down to if Bruce Arians can get it done. But they might be losing Antonio Brown, actually, because you heard about the incident with the bicycle security camera.
Yes.
And Bruce Arians said one mess up and you're gone.
But at the same time, I also did see I did see a report that there's 2 things with that. The Bucs were aware of the incident before they signed him. I saw that report. But then on top of that, the NFL was not aware that the Bucs knew about the incident before they signed him. So that's the Bucs organization's problem. But if we're talking about Antonio Brown, I think he is okay because the Bucs itself knew about it. So
right, like it wasn't his time with the Bucs. I get where you're coming from, Branton, but I also get where you're coming with his time with the Bucs. It's one mess up and he's done, but he's been doing pretty good, and I'm kind of surprised.
And I'll give him benefit of the doubt. I mean, he really hasn't had any huge hooplas, whatever you want to call it, breakouts and stuff like that.
He's kind of put the phone in the trash can for a moment. But
finally,
it'll be back in their playoff loss if they do.
So my number 5 was the Rams as well. Rams. I mean, I think they obviously would be higher, but they did lose to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Which Dolphins are good though. I mean, Dolphins with Tua, they are good. I give them benefit of the doubt.
And talking of the Dolphins, my number 4 team. The Miami Dolphins.
Whoa!
The Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
They have Rams wins over the Rams, the Cardinals, and a smaller win, but over the Chargers, who have been downright. They are one possession away from being one of the best teams in the league. You take one possession away from the Chargers, and they end the game without the other team getting a chance to come back.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the Chargers like, oh my God, Justin Herbert might be the next offspring of Patrick Mahomes.
I think he's Rookie of the Year so far.
Really?
I'd say Herbert can win that. And another stat there about the Chargers. The Chargers are the only other team besides the Steelers to lose by a touchdown.
I saw the stat. I saw that stat.
What was it?
Only team in the NFL besides the Steelers to not lose by a touchdown or less. They all their games have been within 1 touchdown.
Yep.
And that's impressive.
Yeah.
And if they had, I think it comes down to coaching and play calling, and so it's just really do you guys see Anthony Lynn coming back next year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I do. I mean, just because their record does not show how good they actually are.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I put it on here. On the Dolphins, I have the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Chargers as big wins because the Chargers are a big win at this point. Justin Herbert's playing out of his mind. That roster is still one of the best in the league, regardless of how they're playing.
Right. I mean, Joey Bosa, he's still playing.
Yeah, he was hurt. Was he hurt this game?
Yeah, he was hurt that game against the Dolphins, but he'll be back next week. My number 4, number 4. Before I gotta give it to the Saints.
Really?
I think they've dropped a little bit if Drew Brees can't be there for I think it's like 3 or 4 week injury.
I've heard 2
to 3 weeks. Which I was surprised it's that little with a punctured rib and.
Number 3 is my number 3 is gonna surprise you guys, but.
All right. Well, what's your number 4?
Number 4, I got the Arizona Cardinals. I got the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah.
That high.
That high?
Yeah, that high.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just think whenever you can go toe to toe and come back against a really, really good Bills team, I mean, that's got to put you somewhere, I think.
Right.
And I mean, technically, they've had great wins over the Seahawks as well, and in overtime against DK Metcalf and stuff like that, and Russell Wilson, MVP candidate.
Right.
So
going with the Cardinals, my number 3 team, the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Like you said, big wins over the Bills, big wins over the Hawks. They've got the Rams coming up. That's going to be an amazing game. I'm excited for that. I mean, it's not this week, but it's coming up. You just can't ever count them out. And with a quarterback like Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, sadly Chandler Jones is hurt, or else we'd be talking about this team as one of the best in the league.
I think so too.
And Pete Buda Baker has been playing out of his mind. This team is legit, and I think they have
Isaiah Simmons
has been really good. They are playing out of their mind, and I think they have a really good shot of winning this division and maybe making a good playoff run if No, some
Super Bowl
upsets would have
title,
to
Super Bowl
happen.
title, maybe.
No, I'm not saying all that
2008
yet. But,
rematch?
I mean,
I'd take the 2008
Kyler Murray's
rematch.
definitely taking a big step this year.
But my number 3, it's got to be the Packers. I mean, they're still making plays. They squeeze by, but they still got to be on that top 5, in my opinion.
My number 3, and this is gonna be.
If he's
putting the Steelers right here.
It's the Eagles. I'm kidding. No. All right, I'm gonna head out. But it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow.
It is. I put them at number 3. Now, you guys are probably thinking, "Holy crap! Why? Why in the world are you doing that?" Because their offense is why. And now, granted, they did play a really great Saints team, so I will give
They played Panthers.
Or
he's saying
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Right,
yeah.
right. I got what you're saying.
Yeah. So, but I mean, you put up. I mean, 46. I mean, it's 46-23 against. I mean, you put up 46 points. I would think that you are up there as far as great.
High-powered.
Yeah. So, I don't know. My gut feeling was telling me just Bucks. I mean, just I mean, true. I mean, every quarterback has a bad game, and so for me, that was probably one of Brady's worst games. I think probably ever against the Saints. Plus, the Saints are incredibly good. And I really should have them probably higher, to be honest with you. But I always take looking at Drew Brees getting hurt. That's a huge deal. If Drew Brees was playing right now, I would say Saints are probably like my 2 or 3, honestly.
So you even with Drew Brees being out right now, you still have Bucks over Saints by that much. I mean, they're not even in your top 5.
I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. The Bucks aren't even in my top 5.
Yeah.
Bucks aren't in my top 5.
True. I mean, I just have them squeezed in there.
The Bucks was really kind of a stretch, like a huge stretch, and honestly, I kind of made this list up on the fly. So, but I'm rolling with it.
Yeah.
If they can beat the Rams this week, they'll make my top 5. But they've not really shown. I mean, who's the toughest team they've played this year?
Saints.
The Saints, and they've lost both times. And so I think you can beat up on all these small. They even lost to the Bears.
Yeah.
You can beat up on all these weaker teams, but you got to be able to. Who's gonna win? Packers, Bucks, playoffs, NFC Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what?
You got to beat the good.
As long as they can squeeze by the record, Brady is a playoff freak.
He's LeBron in the playoffs.
Other than last year, but
Tennessee was.
And like I said, that's a huge stretch. I know it's probably like what, like really like this guy didn't know what he's talking about. But at the same time, I just look at recently after you're coming off of the horrible loss against the Saints, like bounce back type deal.
And what they beat up on an undermanned Teddy Bridgewater Panthers team.
Yeah, CMC didn't even play.
And that's what I'm saying.
But at the same time, I mean, I wouldn't count the Panthers out either. I mean, the Panthers have been
I'm a really
solid.
big Teddy Bridgewater fan. I've been a Bridgewater fan since he was drafted in Minnesota coming out of Louisville. I'm like, this kid, they traded up for him to get him in the very last pick of the first round. I'm like, this kid is going to have a chip on his shoulder, and he showed it in Minnesota. He played amazing in Minnesota. He deserved the contract. I'm really happy that he's finally a starting quarterback again. Yeah. He's just not the same starting quarterback since all those injuries.
Number 2, Drew.
Number 2, what you got?
I got the Chiefs.
Yeah. Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs.
I have the same thing. Chiefs, number 2.
Yeah, and the defense is playing still like Patrick Mahomes and MVP talks again. I don't think he'll win it, but I could definitely see if Russell Wilson continues to struggle, that Patrick Mahomes could make this case like, hey, here's my little MVP case. I'm going all in this year. But with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, their offensive line is still good. Chris Jones, is playing out of his mind. Their secondary has been playing amazing. Tyrann Mathieu, big fan of him. All these are just good guys. And the hiccup to the Raiders is going to happen. We're all going to lose to bad teams like the Bucks and the Bears. That's an example. And so I feel like the Chiefs are going to be. I really could see a Chiefs Super Bowl if the Steelers don't make it. The Chiefs. Yeah, he's over here like, oh my God, we could go 16-0 and not make the Super Bowl.
I don't want to think about that. I'm taking one game at Jacksonville this week. But with
of course
the
you're
Chiefs,
gonna take it 1 week at a time with Jacksonville.
Yeah, it was Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Oh.
Watch some Leonard
Fournette in my nightmares. But like you're saying with the Chiefs, they have all kinds of pieces around them. You can't not be worried about the Chiefs. You're playing them. But I'm looking forward to this Raiders rematch because if they win 2 of the games against the Chiefs, could they win the division?
They're in prime position to win the division.
That is very true.
So it's going to be a huge game.
My number 2, Packers. I got Packers.
Really?
Oh, you don't have? Do you have? I don't know.
Who does he not have? Who does he not have?
I got number 2, Packers.
Really?
I mean, I'm telling you right now, like Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, baby.
Okay.
That's
all
they've got to be. They've got to be tougher.
And
They've got to play
you're getting
tougher.
and you have Anthony Lazard coming back off of IR, and you had Devontae Adams. Sure, you would like another good piece there, but I think Valdez. I heard an interview with him with Pat McAfee. Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers have really been getting him along and stuff like that. So sleeper.
How much better is this Packers team if they take a skill position player instead of Jordan Love?
Oh, I
15
easily
times.
better. Yeah.
15 times.
You're saying if they took, let's see, what did they trade it to? 13?
13th? No, I think it was like 16th.
Yeah, something like if they would have taken what?
CD Lamb,
Jalen Rager, if they would have traded above.
Yeah.
they'd have been phenomenal.
Yeah,
they'd
could
be
you
phenomenal.
imagine?
I mean, you had Clyde
Devontae
Edwards-Helaire.
Adams?
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, and Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb coming
Claypool.
off the edge. Chase Claypool. Could you imagine any of those guys coming off the other side of Devontae Adams? This team would be scary.
All right, so that leads us to number one. Who's your number one right now?
Got to go undefeated, man.
Pittsburgh
Undefeated.
Steelers.
I mean, it's there's nothing really to say. Defense is the best in the league. Ben Roethlisberger's been playing okay this year. He could definitely be better. I feel like he could be better as a passer. Obviously, he's a quarterback, so he can be better as a passer. But I mean, more his decision making, throw some crazy balls that I just am like scratching my head, like we said with Baker Mayfield earlier in the show. James Conner's got to get it going if they want to make a real deep run in the playoffs, because it's going to get cold in Pittsburgh. It's going to get cold in Baltimore. You know, all these other places where it's going to get cold. They've got to be able to run the ball.
All right, well, moving on to my number one, I definitely got the Steelers in my book because we're still undefeated. I mean, defense is looking amazing right now. As long as we can get the run game going, I think we can make a long run and hopefully clinch the number one seed and have Kansas City come to us.
Right.
All right, so
the moment we've all been waiting for,
I don't know,
folks.
Kyler. Are we gonna have some problems with this list?
Yep. I'm gonna have to redo this.
Okay, go ahead. We'll give you. We'll talk about the Steelers a little bit more.
Yeah.
We'll give you some time to redo your
redo
list. How about
real
that?
quick.
Yeah. Let me redo.
We'll give you a couple minutes.
I can tell you who I put number one, and that was the Chiefs.
He didn't have the Steelers in the top five.
Well, because I was my thought was just not.
So
we'll just let you redo that.
Yeah,
So,
you guys. Yeah.
For the Steelers, I mean, right now they're looking okay without any injuries. I mean, we're getting Chris Wormley back. We got Tyson Alualu back this week, which improved our run defense. Tyson Alualu back this week. Number one rated defensive lineman in the NFL.
Really?
And that improved our run defense.
Tremendously.
I mean, granted, they didn't have Joe Mixon, but they held Giovanni Bernard to minimal carries. He didn't even get a touchdown.
And before Joe Mixon, Giovanni Bernard was that guy.
Exactly.
Like, he was the guy in Cincinnati. I mean, even before Joe Mixon. He's still okay with Joe Mixon, but Joe Mixon obviously is just way better. But Giovanni Bernard was that guy. I think he had a 1,000-yard rushing season. If not, he was really close, like 800 yards, 900 yards.
Yeah.
Before the Bengals, like, I'm talking like Andy Dalton days and Marvin
Red
Lewis.
Rifle.
Yeah,
man, that's one thing about the Cowboys game. I was very much looking forward to seeing the Red Rifle versus the Steelers again. I mean, it's always fun watching Andy Dalton through all the years. He's a good quarterback.
I really like Andy Dalton, and I feel like whenever you have a talent like Joe Burrow coming out of the draft, like we were talking off the show with Trevor Lawrence. You know, what are the Jets going to do? I think they take Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
But, you know, with the talent coming out like that, and you got Joe Burrow, you're going to have these guys that are just like, we can't pass up on him. And after Joe Burrow had he had a good junior season, but after his senior season coming out and just balling out, leading into a championship team, leading into a championship, you can't pass up on him.
All right, let's top five. Read it.
From 5 to 1?
Yeah,
5 to 1.
5, I got Raiders. I got Raiders at 5.
Hold up! You go from having the Rams at 5 to put it in the Okay.
I mean, dude, whenever you dominate, you beat the Chiefs. Whenever you dominate against, you know, a bad team I'm telling you, like, whenever you can beat the Chiefs, already like that already skyrockets.
Okay.
What's
what is your counter argument to mine? Like, what is your
who else have they beaten? Who else is, I mean, you like I said, every team is gonna. I mean, what are they? They're 6-3, right?
Yes.
They're still a good team. I mean, this Chiefs game is gonna mean a lot to the Raiders.
I agree.
And it's gonna mean a lot to. This is gonna be probably one of the best Sunday night games because I don't care if I'm at work. I'm watching this game.
Yeah.
I am watching this game.
We got 2 big Sunday night games in a row. You got Chiefs and Raiders, and you got the Thanksgiving night matchup between the Ravens and Steelers.
Ooh, really? That's our Thanksgiving?
That's our Thanksgiving.
Okay, I'm happy now.
Big Thanksgiving
4,
game.
I got Seahawks.
Really?
Even with
after the loss?
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
only because I think Russ Wilson is probably up there with probably frontline MVP and stuff like that. So, obviously they did play great team in the Rams. So, obviously you're going to have that. I mean, just like the Chiefs, you play the Raiders. I mean, you're going to lose. Right? I mean, you are going to lose, right, Branton?
Probably.
Probably.
Can I just look? Let me look up the rest of the schedule.
I can tell you the rest of our schedule.
Okay.
We got Jaguars this week.
That's a win.
We got Ravens next week.
Give me L. Give me your first L. Let me split with you. Let me split 1-1.
I'll take that L. But I'll also take a W too. Mm-hmm. So keep going and let's see what other games he has.
Mm-hmm. We got Ravens, and then we're going to Washington.
W.
And then we got going to Colts.
Ooh, that's going to be a good game.
Mm-hmm. Going to Colts.
That's going to be a defensive,
that might be
nice
L.
and scrappy. Mm-hmm. Another one where we could see a W or an L.
Yeah, and then going to Cincinnati again.
W.
L.
and then we got Bills at home.
That's another good game.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, you got 3 big ones. The 3 big ones being Baltimore, Colts, and the Bills.
I could see you splitting with the Ravens because it is Thanksgiving, right?
I could also see a split with the Ravens.
But we went to Baltimore and won in Baltimore.
That's true.
But you could also come back and win, and this isn't uncommon, though. There's a lot of splits happening. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams and Seahawks splits.
Like a couple of years ago, I think, the Super Bowl year, us and the Cowboys split 1-1.
Right.
And
I'm not taking anything away that the Steelers aren't going to be amazing.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, what are the odds that they do go 16-0? And right now,
I mean, serious
I don't want them to go
you're still looking at a 13-3 record.
Yeah, my prediction is 14-2.
I mean,
I could see them losing to the Bills, but I think they're going to lock up Josh Allen. I could see them winning against the Colts, but I see them locking up Phillip Rivers.
They'll win that game against the Colts only because their defense will devour Phillip Rivers.
Right.
Ooh, but that's one of the best offensive lines in the league. I think if you give Phillip Rivers time to sit back and throw, he's bound to make mistakes.
But whenever you have one receiver, you won't be able to do anything.
Yeah, T.Y. Hilton has not done anything this year. Pittman
he's on
has
waivers
been doing
this year,
very
too.
well. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he even goes
All right,
so
you finish out my...
Yeah, finish out
sorry, we got completely sidetracked. I was like, yeah, okay.
3, I got Cardinals.
All right,
I had the Cardinals at 3-2.
2, I got Chiefs.
Okay.
1, I got Steelers.
That's a better list. No Bucks in top 5 for you.
That's my fault. The way that we did power rankings, I thought we
literally did them 5 minutes before the show. We'll get the audience that we did them. He's like, you guys want to do power rankings? And we were all like, of course we want to do power rankings. Let's do power rankings.
It's my fault because I was looking I don't know what was going really through my mind. I was thinking of maybe
He's asleep.
Yeah, the Eagles game has got me buffoon. Well, fellas, I think that might do it.
Yeah.
I think that might
Week
wrap
9.
us up. I think that'll wrap up the Week 9 show of the Sports Cube podcast. Thank you all for listening, for watching, either on YouTube or listening on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Anchor FM. We greatly appreciate the support every week. Drew, thank you for coming on the show, filling in.
Definitely have you back.
Yeah, I'd love to be back. If you guys ever need anything,
awesome.
Definitely give me a holler.
Awesome. I mean, hey, if we'll see what happens. I mean, we're obviously up for it anytime. So
Eli, if you're watching this is Eli.
Eli, if you're watching this, if you're watching this, Eli, whenever it airs, you're in the spirits. I promise you.
We missed you, buddy. Hope you're doing well.
Da Bears.
Da
Bears.
But anyway, NBA drafts tonight. Watch it. See what happens. Let's see how close we are. If we even are money.
I think we're gonna make I'm gonna make a list, and I think we're gonna do it on Sports Extra. We're gonna make a list of everyone's top 5. Right? Is that okay? We're gonna make a list of everyone's top 5, and we're gonna at least just glance at it, see how close we were. Okay, right. I'm cool with that.
All right. How about that? So
don't forget to follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram as well. If there may be also actually one big news real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. Unfortunately, whenever we record, we're in our college broadcasting studio. So unfortunately, I believe that we're going to do correct me if I'm wrong, Ian, one more show next week, right, next Wednesday, before we have to do through our homes and through Zoom calls. So expect one more show like this. I know it's been fun for the first semester. I know it, but it's been super fun. We're not done yet. We got one more, baby.
Let's
We got
go
one more
Ski
show.
podcast will still be there for you.
Oh yeah, but we'll still be here. I still plan on it. I'm pretty sure
definitely.
Brandon, Eli, and maybe even get a
We'll
four-person
get Drew a
Zoom
call.
call with Drew and maybe Ian. How about that? Even Ian, maybe.
Get some Ian action.
Ian's in there. He's
Hey,
like, all right, Bill, let's do
maybe
it.
we get a
Special guests.
Maybe we can get a Zoom call going with everybody and stuff like that. So just be expecting after next week a lot of Zoom call piece together, stuff like that.
Now, here's
for our
my
shows.
question as a fan. Will you guys take Christmas off? Will you guys take the Thanksgiving weekend
Great
off,
question.
Christmas
Great
off?
question.
No, we still got to find something to get on there because
We will find something, but as far as I don't know what day Christmas
I
is
don't either.
on.
I was just
25th.
wondering if everything, all the holidays coming
Sure.
up, are you guys going to take a week, maybe take a week off, maybe do it on a Tuesday?
I know that. Oh, that's my fault. I dropped my mic. I know that I might be taking a trip out, but I could still bring my computer and stuff
Right,
like
it's
that.
Christmas is on a Friday.
Exactly.
Okay,
Christmas on a Friday.
Yep.
So we'll keep up to date. Follow us on our social medias for sure. If anything changes, I guess we'll go ahead and say yes, we will do a show. But at the same time, if work conflicts with us or whatever, we will give updates on our Instagram and various other pages. All right.
We'll keep you updated.
All righty. So that'll wrap up this Week 9 edition of the Sports Q podcast. If you stuck with us for this long, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.